For as long as we've been human, we've seen ourselves reflected in the world around us. Faces in clouds, human characteristics in animals, we've even created gods in our own image. In fact, that instinct has always been central to what it means to be human. But today it meets something entirely new, something that was actually born from that instinct. Artificial intelligence. AI is the most advanced interactive reflection of biological life that we've ever created, and already we're speaking to it in the digital world in the same way that we speak to people in the real world. But even though AI is a relatively new technology, there's already a dramatic shift underway, because AI won't stay trapped behind the glass of our smartphone screens for much longer. It's about to walk into our homes, navigate our streets, and become physical colleagues in our work. Put simply, AI is about to be embodied. So stay tuned, because in this video I'm going to explore what that means for us as humans and where it could take us in the future. Robotics are nothing new. We've long tried to make machines that echo people and the creatures that surround us. Renaissance inventors created clockwork figures that wrote with quills and danced, and Victorian parlours displayed mechanical birds in cages that would sing. Mo Gawdat touches on this in his brilliant book Scary Smart. He links the history of our obsession with creating machines in our own image with contemporary AI and where it might take us in the future. I've left a link to that book in the description. But those kinds of mechanical wonders were curiosities more than anything, ingenious machines that were designed to dazzle us and amuse us. I actually own a piece of Victorian automata that my granddad bought in an auction decades ago and was left to me. And I'll show it to you now. Hopefully it will work. I haven't actually turned this on for ages, so let's have a go. Oh, wrong way. There we go, hang on. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. So, I mean, that's just cogs and bellows. I mean, just incredible piece of engineering. Of course, none of those things were alive, but they moved like they were, and that was enough to spark fascination and curiosity in people. Now AI continues that tradition. In fact, it's going to take that tradition, pump it full of steroids, and unleash it on an unprepared world. This time, the imitation won't just be in movement and sound, it will be in body and thought. And that makes the machines we're building today much more than a curiosity. It makes them hugely impactful, capable of changing the fabric of humanity in ways we can barely imagine. Right now, I think our relationship with AI is a bit odd. It's kind of close but distant at the same time. It exists as words and images on a screen, which is useful and personal, but also kind of abstract. I don't know how you feel, but I sense the device that I access AI on affects how I relate to it. On my phone, it feels closer and more personal. I actually prefer interacting with it in that way. It travels with me, sits in my pocket, and because of that, feels like a companion. But in truth, it's just code behind glass, data firing between my phone and a server miles away with no physical presence. But robotics is going to totally change that. When we start to give AI a body, plastic, metal, eyes that move, it's suddenly no longer just software. It's something that we share a physical space with, and it's going to change everything. When you zoom out and reflect on the impact of unleashing machine intelligence on the physical world, it's clear to see how embodied AI is going to change lives. Let's be clear, it will bring immense benefits and improve quality of life for millions of people. Just think about it for a moment. Companions for the lonely, helpers for people with disabilities, household assistants that will give us more free time to spend with ourselves and the ones we love. Robots will take on dangerous work, reduce the burden of back-breaking shifts, and enable 24/7 assistance. They'll make life safer and easier. But the ways they could change us as humans are just as clear. If robots begin caring for us, will we still care for each other? If they provide companionship, might some of us choose them over people? And when we create physical synthetic life that's potentially immortal, how would that impact our relationship with life and death? The bonds could be deep, but they could also be distorting. They'll likely enrich our lives, but they could also fracture society, take away activities we love, and change our behaviour. You see, when new powerful things arrive, they remove aspects of our natural human instincts. Take the police as an example. It's hard to imagine a society now without the protection, reassurance and assistance they provide, and very few people would want to return to a world without them. But it's important to realise that we've outsourced law and order to them in ways that would seem completely bizarre to someone from the medieval period. Back then, communities worked together to look after each other. If a crime was being committed, someone would raise the alarm, alert another villager, who'd alert another villager, and then every able-bodied person would come to their assistance. That response of alerting people, known as hue and cry, was central to law and order in the Middle Ages. In contrast, many people in contemporary society might see a crime taking place or suspect a crime is taking place and turn the other cheek, because we've outsourced law and order to the authorities, and that has changed us. So in the age of the robots, if we suspect that someone's lonely, for example, might we start reacting in a similar way? Will we still take the responsibility to keep things tidy? In fact, will we do anything anymore when we know machines might do it for us? You see, when we outsource care and comfort to machines, we're outsourcing something that is integral to our humanity. We need to consider areas like this as we transition into a robotic society, because if we're not careful, we're going to lose some really vital bits of ourselves. The truth is, progress and technology alters us. It fundamentally changes us on a human level, and that's something we don't talk about nearly enough. As we move into a robotic future, the nature of the embodiment of AI will impact how they alter society. Importantly, design will shape things. For example, a dog-like robot invites one kind of bond, whereas a humanoid with expressive eyes and language invites another. Even small details matter: the softness and temperature of their outer material and the tone of their voice. Lots of companies are exploring different approaches to humanoid robot design, from Tesla's Optimus through to what Boston Dynamics are doing, and there's a company called Figure. They're doing some interesting stuff as well. Have a look around YouTube to see videos of humanoids in action, and you'll soon see how close we're getting to the robotics revolution. Alongside the design of these machines, ethics matters too. A robot in your home will learn your routines, moods, and your weaknesses. But then who owns that data, and who sets the limits on what we share and what we keep private? I see two possible futures. One where robots are restricted to being highly dynamic tools, efficient, endlessly helpful, but clearly machines. And then there's another future, one where robots are mass-produced to be human companions, warm, funny, and affectionate, personal and reflective, but yet another reason for us to distance ourselves from each other, bonds that rival or even replace human ones. Both paths are possible. Both might even exist side by side, but if I had to bet money, I would say that the mass companionship route is almost inevitable. Why? Well, because it will be possible. They will automate friendship and love into commodities that people will buy, so we just won't be able to help ourselves. It's important to understand what's happening. We're not just making helpers, we're making new social actors that will revolutionize life in a range of ways. From binary code to a physical companion, from a tool or a service to a real-world presence that one day we won't be able to live without. The question isn't, will robots enter our lives? That part is certain. It will be, how do we coexist with them when they do? So what do you want your relationship with a robot to be like? Do you want them to be tools, housemates, helpers, or even friends? Let me know in the comments. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you soon. This video was based on my writing over at layeredfuture.com. If you'd like to explore the full article or browse through other topics, you'll find it all there.